Hello, YouTube. Provided all goes to plan here, what I'm doing is using the game Snooker 19 to do a series of videos in the practice mode, where I'm going to be using each and every player on the game, starting here with Stephen Hallworth, who is the last named player on the game, and working my way backwards to Ronnie O'Sullivan, which is where the series will end. That'll be the final episode, and in each episode there are going to be 2 frames. The first frame will be the frame where I go for a 147 and we'll get a 147. And then the second frame will be a frame where I just play the frame in a standard way and see what happens. Here's what I mean by that. In the first frame, and here's what I mean by that, because there are certain rules to each frame. So frame 1, the 147 frame, the rule in that frame, because this is in practice mode so I can pick up and move the cue ball whenever I like, the rule for the first frame, the 147 frame, is that if I run out of position on the black at any point, I am allowed to pick up and move the cue ball back into a more favourable position to get to the black to play for the 147. But that's only in that first frame. In the second frame, which is the frame where I'll be abiding by the normal rules of snooker, it's just that. A normal frame where I have to play each ball as it happens. I'm not allowed to pick up and move the cue ball in the second frame, because that will be seen as a foul, therefore end of break. If I'm unable to pot any shot after 3 attempts in the second frame, end of break. However, in both frames the table will be cleared. So in the second frame, if I fail to pot a shot after 3 attempts, or something goes wrong and I'm out of position and I cannot pot a ball no matter what, and I call end of break, I will then be reverting back to the rules of the first frame, where I'm allowed to pick up the cue ball and move it just to clear the table. But that's only, however, I'm only allowed to do that in the second frame once the break has officially ended. Okay, so now I've got all that out of the way, let's get on with the first frame, where I go for the 147. So, I'm going to show you the break-off I like to use. It's not necessarily a traditional break-off, but I find that it has the less chance of tangling up the black. Although it also has the most chance of running me into trouble straight away here. Okay, can I get to this red and pot it? I can, but that might take me out of position on the black, but I've got no other red really that gives me even half a shot on the black, so I've got to try. Okay, it's brought me into position on the black, but a little bit too low. So I'm just going to adjust that so that I can... Oh, no, that's... I like to have a nice little angle on the black. Otherwise, if you're too straight on the black in these frames, it's very difficult. I might just nudge that red, and I have, but I think I'm still on it. Although I don't think it's going to pot to that corner now because of the black being in the way. So, I will take this red to the middle pocket and just hope I end up somewhere nicely so I can pot the black. Back down past... Oh, I'm going to hit the blue. Oh, I thought I was going to come back down between the brown and the green. Well, I should say, when you look at the table, the pink's not in a very favourable position, and neither is the blue. But, yeah. And you know what? There's just one thing about snooker and pool, because I played both snooker and pool, that's amazed me, which is that in pool, you never want to be near the black ball until you've actually got to play it at the end of the frame. Whereas in snooker, the players are always trying to remain near the black ball. So, have I got a shot I can play here to get me on the black? Potentially this red, but I might just nudge the black back, since I'm going to try and play with a little bit less power. But still have to... Oh, look at what I've done there. I tried to play with a little bit less power just to be through on the left-hand side of the black, but fortunately it went up. Had that gone to plan, what would have happened is I would have potted that red, the ball would have come through here, the ball would have bounced off there, and then ended up probably somewhere about there. Giving me a nice shot on the black to continue the 147 break. I came up with the idea with this series, for this series about a week ago, when I was sat playing this game, and I thought, I've seen people do all sorts of different things with this game. I've seen them do career mode runs and things like that. But I thought, I've never seen anyone do a series where they're in practice mode and they use every player to try and get the best possible break they can. I've got to move the cue ball a bit again, I'm sorry. To try and get the best possible break they can in practice mode. And then I thought, well, what if I take that one step further and decide to do 2 frames an episode, where one frame I go for the 147, and then the second frame using one set of rules, and in the second frame I have to use I use the standard snooker rules. So that way I'm at least playing one frame in a normal manner. thought, yeah, that could be good. So I'm hoping it is good. And as I say, I will be doing more episodes of this. And this will keep going until I get to Ronnie O'Sullivan, where the series will end with him. And then maybe after that, I might consider doing, if this series does well, after I've got to Ronnie O'Sullivan and finished off his episode, I might do a career mode run. Might start filming some of my stuff in career mode. If these videos do well, and if that goes in off, I'm going to be cross. No, it hasn't. Good. That's only if these videos do well. Yeah. And please don't be afraid to, put suggestions into the comments of how I might be able to, do these videos better. What I didn't do, beginning of the was turn up my TV so you can actually hear the sound of the balls. Sorry about that. How unprofessional. Right, now let's pop the black. So far it's 5 reds, 6 reds and 5 blacks, to make it 6 reds, 6 blacks. Don't go in off. Oh. Now if this comes off, this is going to be like an Alex Higgins style shot if this comes off. Here we go. In the spirit of the late great Alex Higgins, can I do it? Oh, I'm going to do that again. By the way, the 3-shot rule doesn't apply on this first frame because this is the frame where I have to get the 147. So it would be unfair to give me 3 attempts and say end of break, because that's not what this frame is about. This frame is about getting the 147 no matter what you have to do. And I actually managed to fight my way through there onto the black, which is something of a miracle. I didn't expect that to happen. Although I will decrease the power because I want to try and keep the black in amongst the reds. So if I send the black careering off down the top end of the table, over there, there's no point really. That's about all of me that you're going to get to see in these videos is my hand, because all the rest of me is going to get that shot so you can see the table. Pop the red, hopefully stay on the black. No, I've gone up the table. Now this is usually in a regular frame, and you might even get to see this in the next frame, would be where you'd be like, oh, I'm going to bail out here and play the blue because it's the easier shot, but not me. I'm still going to attempt the black. And how's that for a shot? Well, that is going to leave me kind of in what I would like to describe as no man's land, because I haven't really got a red there that can bring me back to the black. So I am going to just shift the cue ball to there, play this red, and try and leave myself on the black to the corner pocket. There you go. Oh, it's gone a bit further than I wanted it to. It's a bit straight, but never mind. Still potable, even though I think I am going to cannon that red, which is something I didn't want to do. No, I didn't touch it. Wow. Unless I did, but I don't think I did. It didn't appear as though I touched the red. Hey. Right, I'm going to have to move the cue ball again. I'm going to cannon these reds here, so it'll be a little bit more of a punch just to break them apart and try and end up on the black, which I have done. Oh, how's that? Come out of the bulk end, don't get stuck there. Now obviously, for a 147 situation, you don't want the colours to look like this. By which I mean the yellow, so you've got yellow, brown and pink there, you've got green just off its spot there. The blue's off its spot. You never want the colours to look like that for a 147. You want them really specifically on their spots, so that it makes that final clearance a bit easier. Oh, that's gone in off. Okay, don't take that red now then. Let's take this one. Oh, yeah, that was always a risk for that red. But, I mean, if that red had gone in and left the cue ball on the table, if that, the original red out here had gone in and left the cue ball on the table, no problem. Because my original red didn't go in, or it went in but it had the cue ball following after, I had to stop and retake the shot so I could keep the 147 break alive. Oh, hold on, sorry. I clearly didn't line that up properly. Usually I'm quite good on getting the black quite consistently. So anyone only suffers from motion sickness. Sometimes the whole screen likes to jump around when you're trying to aim, so if there's anyone out there watching this that's got motion sickness, I do apologise. It's just not practical because I'm going to cannon the other one before I even make it to the pocket, but we'll try it, I suppose. No. Okay, let's come the other side of this red. Take it, that red there, take it up to that corner. So I know isn't a path back to the black, but there we go. Because now, weirdly, if that red hadn't been where it is, I would have had a go at the black from there. Because of that other red being where it was, I couldn't have a go at the black. Oh, for goodness sake. Now obviously, if I end up in the next one, if I end up with a situation like this, I may have to just call end of break, because... yeah, excuse me, I do apologise for that. I'll be my banana milkshake out with my lunch a minute ago. Right, let's try this now, so if I can put this in and leave the cue ball on the table. Yes, there we go. I can't even get to the black because that red's in the way. So I'll just have to move the cue ball up a little bit. I don't want it to be too straight though, because otherwise I won't get on a red, so... In it goes, how about that? Well, hello. Hello, hello, hello. I might be on this red here. It's going to be a tight shot, but I'm going to give it a go. If I can just punch it slightly. Oh, I punched it too hard. I want just a little bit of punch to get it off the bottom cushion, as it did, and then come back up the table slightly for the black. So I'm just going to have to move that black slightly. Actually, I'm to lean a little bit here because I can't see all of my screen because of my camera. But it's alright. There goes the black. Now, if I was playing for the yellow there, which gladly I'm not, I've just come up on completely the wrong side of it. And left myself in no position to pot it either. So I'm going to come down to this red here. And thankfully, from the position in which I'm playing it, there's no middle pocket to leave myself in should the shot go wrong. So it's just a case of running it down the cushion into the corner pocket, leaving myself on the black, as I have, which is a miracle, and now try and come up the right side of the yellow. Nope, I'm on the wrong side of it again, which is just purely unfortunate. We're going to have to move this slightly. The sheer fact that I need to be slightly in the bulk end for the green. No, not that much. Well, I might be able to pot the green from there, but it is going to be a tricky shot. But still, let's try it. No, okay, I'm going to move the cue ball a bit, because otherwise that shot on the green is very tricky. And I want to try and play this so I can come out and across the table for the brown. I'm not quite where I want to be, but I might still have a shot at it, possibly. Let's see. I think it is still potable. Let's have a go. Oh! I actually use this mode to line the shot up, which I don't do very often. But I could do. I might be able to pop that now. There you go. Well, I'm going to bounce around a bit and unfortunately not end up quite where I want for the blue. You see, the horrible thing is the pink is in the wrong position. It should be on its spot, which is obviously just above the black. But it isn't, so it's slightly awkward. Now I want to try and hit this not too hard, because I want to leave it somewhere near the pink. The irony there is if I played that just a little bit harder, I would have been in perfect position to play the pink. Now this isn't going to bounce back down towards the black, I know that. It's going to stay at the top of the table. And no, for any of those of you asking, I'm not going to try and attempt to double the black back into the other corner pocket for the 147. I'm in fact going to come down here and just pop the black in the traditional manner to complete the 147 break. So that's the first frame. So we've got the 147, it'll come up on the screen here. Once the cue ball stops rolling, you'll see we have the 147. So there's the 147. Now what we're going to do at the end of this frame is once we get the final break, obviously once we get to either end of break or I manage to clear the table, hopefully. Once we have the final break score for this, we're going to write it down. Next to that, we're going to write down the name of the player and then the break. And then we're going to also put next to it frame 2. And then we'll see over the course of the frames which player can get the highest break before I have to call it quits. Right, again we're going to play the same break off as before because it just... I like it, although that hasn't quite gone well. So I'm going to retake that break shot because it didn't go quite as well as before. There we go. Smash them up a bit. Now hopefully I'm going to land on a red to somewhere. It doesn't matter where, remember, because we're not going for a 1-4-7 here. We are just trying to pot a red and open up a break. Ooh, this is nasty. I've ended up right where I don't want to be. Right, well, I'm technically, because I'm not going to be potting a ball, I'm not going to be wasting a break. So I'm just going to do that just to get myself out of that position so I can then at least start a break. So, sorry about that, that kind of went a little bit wrong there to begin with. So now I've got this red to the corner, may leave me on the black. So now we start the break officially. So I've come through and I'm on the black. Now remember, I'm not actually trying to go for a 1-4-7 here, but if that position does present itself, then yeah, obviously I will take it. But that's not the aim. The aim here is just to try and get the biggest break possible whilst avoiding having to stop. Although I should point out another rule is, I forgot to mention at the beginning, is that on this second frame, if I do end up in a position where I have to end the break due to my using more than my not being able to pot after 3 shots, or my running out of position so badly it's possible to get back on it, after that, however, I won't just be leaving the table with balls on it, I will be clearing the table. Because if I fail to clear the table in this break, once we get to that final break score, after that I will then be just picking the ball up and moving it around just to clear the table. Because I'm sure that there are many of you out there like me who, when you're watching a frame of snooker, I'm going to go for the pink, when you're watching going for the pink, when you're watching a frame of snooker and they're on a really good score and they get to the pink, say, and they pot it like that, whoa. No, they pot it just like I did there, and then they pot it, and then rather than clearing the black off the table, they just leave it there. And you're like, well, why have you left the black on the table? Why didn't you clear it? So, just to avoid any people out there that are like me, they do get a little bit upset with that and annoyed with that, I'm going to be clearing the table. So as I say, if I fail to clear the table in this normal manner, and I have to end the break due to a foul or whatever else reason, I will then just clear the table in the same way that I was using the same rules as I did in the first frame, where I can just pick up the ball and move it to the most favourable position to complete to clear the table. However, that final score will not count as his final score. His final score will only count. The only score will count for him is the one that he has when the break officially comes to an end. So I hope it was on that. Let me try to say that again clearly. The only score that will count in this game is the one that is there. So at the moment it's 21 and the break is still going. If I mess it up, if we get to say a break of 48 and then I mess it up, fine. But after that, that will go down as the score, and I will then clear the table using whatever means necessary. But the only score that will count is the score that we have when the break officially comes to an end. I will show you when we get to that stage what I mean. This is a horrible red, isn't it? Thankfully it's gone in, so the break continues. Don't think the long blue is really on. So it's going to be green to the middle. Just to try and keep the break going. Jeez, when that ball went to the door, I thought, please don't stay up. Excuse me. I've also got a bit of a bad throat at the moment. Oh, I'm on the black, and it's the only colour I've got a chance with, so I've got to try it. Oh, thank goodness for that. Remember, I only get 3 shots, 3 attempts at a shot like that, and then it's end of break. So, I'm hoping to at least get into triple figures before that happens. Oh no, don't go in off. Now I'm on. Yes, I think I'm on the long blue to the corner. Phew. That could have been end of break then. If I wasn't on a colour, that would have probably been end of break. Uh-oh. Okay, thank goodness for that. And I water on my throat, I am so sorry. Okay. Will this red go to the corner pocket? If not, this could be end of break. Because I'm not allowed to move the ball, remember, so I can't just pick it up. Because remember, there was this second frame, I'm not allowed to move the ball to the cue ball to a more favourable position. So at any time, this break could come to its end. Let's drop the power slightly there, because I don't want to go in off. Right, this is my last chance. If the ball doesn't go in this time, it is end of break. Please go in, blue. It's there! Yes, it's there. Oh, and no in off. Okay. So I am now desperately trying to keep this break alive. Of course, if this was the 147 frame, I would have moved the ball, keep it a lot closer to this red, but because I didn't have to. Don't go in black. I can't even get to the black, so it's the blue again. The blue seems to come to my rescue a lot this frame. Problem is that's going to cause the cue ball to go in off. I don't want that. I want this frame to keep going. There we go. That'll do. I really am sorry about my throat. Please forgive me. Right, red ball. Now again, the blue may come to my rescue here. May do, because I can't pot the pink. But I will have a try at the black. And if the black doesn't go in, then it will have to be the blue. Oi! Oh, there we go, it's in. Basically, if I'd taken that second shot and the black hadn't gone in, I'd have been looking to the blue saying, "Come to my rescue." Now, where am I going here? If I get behind that brown, the blue can't come to my... Uh-oh. Right, I'm going to have to try and pop the brown to the middle pocket here. This is going to be quite tricky because the blue cannot come to my rescue. Okay. I'm just going to try it to the middle. Oh! The blue couldn't come to my rescue there because it was kind of inaccessible. Because I tucked myself in behind the brown, as you saw. So it was kind of tricky there to even attempt getting onto the blue. Oh, no, that's failed. Let's try that again. Oh, for goodness sake. If I don't put a ball this time, it's end of break. Let's try this red next to the black. I just hope and pray it goes in. Oh! That always terrifies me, because obviously, because I put that rule on myself, the 3 attempts and after that it's end of break, I'm like, So we're at a break of 65 so far. What's that? 70 now? '71 even. Please go in. Yes. Uh-oh. Is the blue gonna come to my rescue again? Now I've cannoned that red, something I didn't want to do. because it now makes it tricky. It now means this break could end before triple digits. This could be coming down towards end of break here, guys. Although not yet. How's that? I might just be able to clear the table here. Pink ball, middle pocket if this goes well. Cannon the blue, which is something I did actually want to do, weirdly enough, so I can have at least half a shot on this red. The blue I don't have to worry about just yet. The red, however, I do. Let's try this. Okay, so again I'm using this method to try and set me up so the red will go in. Okay, that should be alright, I think. Ah! Oh. Let's try that. Oh! That was just pure luck. I was starting to get scared that I was going to lose that then, and I was going to be in the frame. Right. Black to the corner pocket. Come up on the wrong side of the yellow. Good start, you twit. Am I going to take this yellow to the middle pocket? I think I am, aren't I? It's the only half decent chance I've got of keeping this break alive. Now I've come again, I've mucked up because it's yellow, green, brown. So again I might have to attempt this green to the middle pocket. Doesn't go in this time, guys. I'm going to try and rethink this because I'm not allowed, as we know by the rules of this frame, I am not allowed to manoeuvre it to a more favourable position. So now I'm just going to have to try and, oh god, now I'm just going to have to try and trick shot the damn thing. Well, there it is. I couldn't get the green in, so that is end of break. So, I need a pen and a piece of paper. Give me a second, guys. I will keep talking at you. Basically, what we now do is we take that out of here, and we'll take this and we write down, because we need the name. So, Stephen Hallworth. I don't care that I just spelled the word Stephen wrong. I'm spelling it the way I know it. Hallworth. And then we put frame 2 score, and his break, and I'd love to see if this can be beaten by anybody, is 101. That's an impressive break. That's how the break officially came to an end, 101. And so now, just so I can clear the table, I start manoeuvring the cue ball around a bit, just to give me the best chance of clearing the table for you. Because, as I said, I don't like to leave the table with balls on it, so I prefer to pop them all. So, had the green gone in, this would have been the shot on the brown, which wouldn't have cannoned the blue, sadly, but would have left me at least half a decent shot on it. So what we're seeing here is, had I got a shot like the one I just showed you on the green, I would have been alright to keep going for at least another 2 balls. Yeah. Could I even have taken the pink? I could have taken the thing, and then I would have been hideously out of position on the black. So the break could have ended, it's probably where the break would have ended, actually, at 119, unless I get insanely lucky with this pot on the black. And this would have been the final attempt to keep the break alive and to clear the table, and it wouldn't have gone in. So the break would have ended on 119 had I got down to the black, unless I'd somehow been here, in which case the break would have ended at 120 something. But yeah, there it goes. And that's it. That is end of frame 2. The official end break there was 126, was the official end score. But as I say, the only one we're counting is the 101, which was where the break officially came to an end because I couldn't pot the green. So that shows you what I'm going for with these rules. Just nice that it looks normal for you. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, until the next time, please be nice to each other, be kind, take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.